Is the stream working at all? Maybe not.
Please do not play while driving.
Whoever's watching, can you tell me if the stream is actually working or if you hear this? Because I don't see it update on my live stream page. Oh, right, okay. Good. Like I said, I can't, it doesn't show up, so, you know, it is what it is. All right. So. Actually, let's run this through JQ. Oh, right. We're printing a bunch of stuff. Let's just do this for now. And also probably, let's see. We remove this one. Right, so that's also running with, remove that. So now we have this. We can run that through JQ and there you go. Can probably cut down on this prompt a tiny bit. Fuck it, we don't really need to detail all this probably. No, let's just do this. We'll see. Show file path. Well, that's not gonna matter, probably. So we really do have to just basically make the bridge to Kakoune. That is the most important part. So we do have to figure out one of these things now. Socket test. I'm gonna do this here. That's a named session. So send to Kakoune is a procedure that has a bunch of stuff. Let's say we have a bunch of commands, they're all strings, doesn't really matter. Session, client, these are strings. We can put this here. Opa. So, if I remember correctly, there's a format for this. So let's say command bytes. Make some amount. I mean, actually, I should calculate this, to be honest, but so 1 byte and then 1 plus 4 plus len of. Oh yeah, hang on. We'll just do this. Okay, actually, let's do. Yeah. Hello.
I venture into the city with the first grey of dawn and walk
Let's see here.
and when the streets started to fill with
Something like that, sort of, ish. And then we want to say basically these are our command bytes, and then we have the send bytes, which we will say is a slice of bytes, and the length is whatever len command bytes is plus 5, something like that. The reason for this is supposed to have that there. The reason being, we want to say that send bytes, the first byte is going to be 0x02, and we should be able to copy slice here. The dest is like this order, so we're gonna do that. Let's say U32 of the length of command bytes. I'm gonna have to make sure that this actually makes sense after. I could use another buffer here, but let's just not, I think. Let's see here. Unix sockets in Odin. Sys Linux maybe. Should be able to do this, right? Socket message. Yeah, I think maybe we'll just do this. Actually, let's see here. Can we just use this one? Maybe that's a bad idea, I don't know. So we have, what is it called? Send to Kakoune. Session and client. Oh, actually I need to add more to this. That's annoying. Man, at this point, honestly, we may as well just use the command buffer for the entire thing. Just call it B, doesn't matter. And this is not going to be the first write at all. The first write is going to be buffer write byte with 0x02 and buffer write byte. No, we're gonna have to have this command buffer regardless. Okay, never mind. That doesn't matter actually. We're fine, we're fine. It's funny because now we're just ending up doing the thing that I said I didn't want to do before. But it's fine. We're fine. And here we actually don't have to make slice anymore. We can just say buffer bytes buffer to our B. Actually, hang on. Oh yeah, actually, hang on. Okay, I think that's fine. We can use buffer write here and just say this and then transmute. We transmute the len of the U32 of len of our command buffer. And then, man, why am I missing this paren on that all the time? Bytes buffer write command buffer. Where's that command? Bytes, rather. Actually, hang on, what's the... Unix sock string. I wonder what then that one is going to be. Let's try this. Socket. Protocol domain type protocol. It's possible we shouldn't use this function. Maybe. But then if we go to Linux here, okay, maybe we do this one. Let's just look at the docs, I guess. Socket FD flags bits. What is that one? Okay, no look, sure. So we have domain, sock type, sock flags, protocol. What was the address family here again? Yeah, there we can specify Unix, yeah. Ah, fuck it. to equal to Unix, presumably. And stream, I guess. So I don't know, am I missing anything here? Hang on, what do I have to specify here? I don't even know what, I mean, this, a lot of this is just stuff, like, what? Well, the vast majority of these I've never heard of at all. I mean, we'll just try one, I guess. But the thing is, like, it's not it's not TCP. Pipe. Let's try pipe. Opa. Should be able to do send to here, right? Send no other. Looks good. And the buffer that we want to send is send bytes. Flags, I don't really. Is that not defined in here at all, or? Oh, right. Hang on. Socket FD flags. Is that what we're looking at? I mean, not really. Socket message. Fuck if I know. Well, let's see. presumably you get the byte sent as well here. Send error. I think maybe this will be none, if we're good. Let's modify run to not do basically anything. Let's just comment a bunch of the stuff out, I guess. Oh, this reminds me I need to... Let's try this first, and then... So, about that, here we actually need to do some more stuff, actually, hang on. For every command we do write, we also need some extra stuff here. And we also need like a sort of a header-ish that's going to be written down here. So we have first the 002, and then we have length, and then we actually want to eval client, etc. So let's see here. Actually, we can't write that down here because we are going to... We're going to write that up here. Oh, this is, well, we can... So it's from the website that I showed in a different stream called musicforprogramming.net. So if you go to this website, you'll have a bunch of songs here. This is number 2 by Sunjammer. You can download the MP3 file here. So if you just want to listen online, you can just go to musicforprogramming.net You can also do /2 if you want to go straight to this one. And you can just play it there. But what we're doing is Ava. Jesus Christ, I hate this shit. What we're doing is we're just listening through NPD. Let's see here. We want to write eval and then dash client and then the client name. And that's gonna be just client like this. And then bytes buffer, byte string. So just to kind of clarify what we're trying to do is we're essentially client 0. We're gonna be sending this effectively. So .config rc, and then we actually want to this makes me realize we don't want quotes around all of the commands, so it's good that we executed this here. We actually want, well, let's make sure that this is actually correct first before I do anything else. Execute keys. Here we should be able to just say execute keys %, and then we're gonna pipe that into cacp socket test. Right, so now we opened our cacrc and we selected all of the text, so we sent 2 commands. This is effectively what we're trying to do now with the socket instead. So here I'm going to delete buffer and leave that in that state instead. Command buffer. Right, so we are writing a string, and here we actually can just say space, and then we can actually do the quote there. Because now we're gonna start writing these commands, and then we actually want to write byte after the commands. This one, command buffer. Well, we can do this here. And then we are going to, right, so now this should send the right length, hopefully. And we don't know if anything down there is correct, by the way, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Gold and silver burn to my autumn.
Undeclared name bytes. Okay, fair enough.
They fade and die, and then why there were no others.
Oh yeah, buffer
Milk
bytes.
and honey were their lives.
Oh, right. Let's just try to do this like this here. Size bytes. Size bytes is this expression here. Well, we can do this actually. Maybe. Right, so probably socket error should be here. And if socket, I'm assuming now this is Erno. If that's not none, eprint if I'm unable to create socket like this. We're just gonna always exit here. We should always exit there as well. Doesn't matter so much, to be honest. No errors not exported. Where? Yep. Sys Linux sys. This is a little bit of a mess. Path does not exist. What am I missing? Core sys Linux sys. Oh no. No, it is there. Oh, it's just never exported, I guess. Hang on. Yeah, these are private. So hang on. I knew it. Let's see here. Yeah, fair enough. That was my bad. So you have to use that one through a proc group. That's weird though, right? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't really love that, to be honest. eProto no support. What should really be there, though? Socket type should actually probably be raw, right? It's still eProto no support. So it's not pipe there. There are so many. I don't know which I meant out of these. Please, what the fuck, dude. Sure. What's the sock type though? Do I need to do something different here? Can we just use string? I would think this is a little bit strange, but hello, Timoteo. What's up? So, hang on, shouldn't we? Should we just be able to do this? No. Isn't that a little bit strange? I feel like we're gonna have to look into the... Okay, so this is... right. And protocol family is defined where? Bits? And on FreeBSD it is a separate type. Interesting. Didn't we look at a file that said... Hang on, what? So this takes a protocol, not a protocol family. And that file is not here. However, it might be in types. It's not. Constants. Bits. Right. That's a lot of protocols. I have no idea what I'm supposed to choose, like, to be completely honest. Oh, if I'm from Russia? No, no. I live in Bulgaria, but I'm not from Bulgaria either. I'm from Sweden. But yeah, I live in Bulgaria though, which is not Russia. It's not. It's not really Russian in general. That's what I would say. Not supported within this domain. Well, the protocol should be able. You should be able to pass essentially a. Actually, we can take a look at the code. Actually, they are doing a syscall, syssocket, domain, socktype flags, protocol. So whatever we pass down there, it's going to be the same. So that means, okay, let's just reverse this. Right, domain is Unix, right? And domain is an address family. It's not there either. Types, which is a distinct protocol. Which is this one. Local is what we have, which is 1. So then that means we should be able to send whatever, I think it was ICMP is 1. Where are we here? Shouldn't I have known this? not com. Oh, yeah, that's not the socket call. That means, yeah. Okay, that actually kind of makes sense. Let's see. Of course. Just a socket. And Let's just say this. Fucking what? I don't know. Let's just try that. Oh yeah, I have to remember to change this as well. Socket test. Client 0. Socket test. This is literally never... Oh no, it's in types. Let's just... connect. Why are we passing this here? That doesn't make sense, right? Suppose do I have to actually fill this in? Sun path. Well, that makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. Because otherwise... Okay, hang on. Let's try this here. This should be socket address also. We have the socket file, which is a string for us here. And what we can do here is we can copy, slice, source, socket file. This needs to be a transmute. And this needs to be socket address some path. Well, still not sure about this though, but oh. Prototype. Connect to socket. Prototype. Okay. So why is my search not working? I literally searched for prototype, didn't I? On an attempt to connect a Unix domain datagram socket to a stream socket. We did connect, maybe? So hang on, if I mess this up here, if I don't copy here, what error do we get? Okay, econ refused, okay, good. Now the question is maybe, what am I actually sending? Let's just verify, you know. I like doing this, just to be sort of like hyper clear about what actually is being sent. So the bytes that we're going to be sending look as follows. Slash eval. Where am I getting a slash from? Slash? Well, okay, this is not correct anyway, because of course, like... Oh, the slash is that byte. So, let's see here. We have we write to our B. And then we actually... Okay, so the edit command is fine. And here we could also verify, by the way, that let's add another command here, right? So execute keys %. Oh, am I getting garbage? Am I overwriting something somewhere? Oh, it's not garbage. Of course, it's we write 1 byte and then the size, and that's gonna be, the size is gonna change. So if we run the same command as we did before, fuck it, I'm not gonna bother with that. Because it depends on the size, right, of the actual message. So if I were to go back to this, you'll see that we are back to the same line. What the fuck is redo, by the way? Fuck it, I'm not gonna bother with that. Was it no block or something like that? I thought that was actually one of them. I guess I'm wrong. Make sure that the client 0 add socket test. By the way, if I was from Russia, Timoteo, why would I be online? In that case, YouTube warns you live that they've detected audio in your stream belonging to someone else. Okay, fair enough. Valid. Target with the Unix domain R sock stream for a stream oriented socket, sock diagram for a datagram oriented socket. Don't think we need to send datagrams, right? Don't reorder datagrams. Can you just OS write? Is that actually a thing? We would have to probably do a... Alright, we will still have to use Linux there. Oh, let's connect. How do we know that something is wrong? So let's go over here what we're sending. Probably can't do this. Which order are these supposed to be in? the same bytes. Oh. Right. Why do I keep making this music? That doesn't make any sense. Is it 71? Just to make sure that I'm not... Yeah, the byte count. Exactly. Dash M should be the same thing, yeah. So now I should definitely see a different result here, right? Yeah. This still doesn't mean that you should write it big endian, mind you. about... $72 though. So hang on, where am I getting the size? Yeah, this one. So hang on, why am I seeing 72? No, I don't think this matters now because we are sending the whole thing. Da, 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 da. Client. So let's just make sure again here that we are. This still works, right? Yes, it does. Okay, so we should probably switch to begin view. Though I don't know if I trust this answer. What it will be is an agent that is stuck in Kakoune. So it will be an agent that the only thing it can do is control Kakoune. and that's it. Which means we will be able to watch it do things in Cocoon as well. That's the idea at the very least. That's the part I'm trying to figure out now, how we basically do the equivalent of this here. So, for example, we might say, let's say, yeah, we could do even more here. Execute keys %s. Let's say we say nop sh here. Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, and then we actually have to do a ret. Okay, let me... That didn't work anyway. That's a little bit odd. Or did I miss something? I would have thought that it... because this is what we would expect. Actually, okay, let's do this. Oh my god. Let's do this here. Doc Odin. Right, so now we've marked all Doc Odins. Right, so effectively what you can do is you can control Cocoon by doing this, right? So now, for example, we could do something with these Doc Odin results, right? So that's what the agent will do in order to do things. It will effectively be stuck in Cocoon and be able to do nothing else. And that's based on the tools that we give it. So if you look at these, what we have here, this read tool here. If you imagine for a moment, for example, we have, let's say we had execute keys tool, right? Execute keys. That would be a tool that is called execute keys, like this, and it has send keys to Kakoune. Required. Here we would have probably just keys. Those are the parameters to the tool. And properties. We actually have a lot more that we need to do here. So let me just show kind of what I mean by all of this. As a brief respite from our problems. So users, make message. Let's not do the payloads. And here, though I am a little bit curious now. So this is supposed to be our JSON bytes, and then we have JSON bytes here. And I feel like the retool is not finished. So that's weird. We would like to finish that probably. This can be type object, doesn't matter so much. So let's comment this out for now. And let's see. It's expected. Ah, yeah. So here only the URL is going to matter. This is now going to an LLM over here in llama.cpp. Opa. So, sorry, I should have piped this through JQ already, but so this is the response from the LLM. What we actually sent it, if we can illustrate this, right, is we won't be able to use JQ for that, by the way. Sending. So you see this, we got back a tool call here. And obviously we need to actually flesh out what that tool call is, because it's not understanding here what it should be passing. So here it's saying, you know, I probably want to call this with path readme, which, you know, fair. That's probably what we would do. If we were to say this here, properties, we can take a look at an example file. I can show you what that actually means. Let's work a little bit on that actually. I'll figure out the Kakoune integration after we are. So in the interest of making some progress, we'll just do this. Here we're pasting, or we're outputting what we're sending. So we're not going to be able to run this through JQ now, but you already know what it is returning. So here, what we're actually saying in this section here is we're sending two messages. One is the system message. This is the system prompt that every agent will have essentially. Generally, it just describes like what's the general gist of what's going on, right? So in our case, we're saying you're an expert coding assistant who can only use Kakoune, a niche editor that you don't know much about, and so on. And what we'll do in the system prompt is also we're going to give the agent the files that it can look at to learn Kakoune. Right, so that will be the docs in Kakoune. And so then we have a user message, role user, you see here. That's just a request, like show me the contents of readme.md. And then our model hehe, which doesn't matter because we're running llama CPP regardless. And then you can see we're sending the tools here, right? So type is a function. It's a function, and the function itself is read, etc. And then that's actually supposed to have more keys here, which we're gonna take a look at. So I have an example file that I use for this. Let's research OpenAI completions. I think that's already kind of formatted. So here you can see that we, for our read example, right, we actually want a lot more. So if we copy some of these things, this will be our properties here. We would probably want to actually, in our tool, when we do make tool, this section here. Opa. That's more accurate. So in our properties, we want to emulate the thing up here. So this is actually going to be nested stuff So here we probably want, I'm going to just pull this out here. We could say read path here is a JSON object like this, and an object is just a type. It's a distinct type around a map, right? So that's why we are able to just describe these JSON objects like this. So just what I mean by this is, let's go to Odin core encoding JSON types. So if you look at value, right, first of all, value is the top level type for the JSON objects, right? So you have a value can be null, integer, float, boolean, string, array, or object. Now some of these are more interesting than others, right? What is an object? Well, it's up here. It's a distinct map of string to value, which is exactly what a JSON object actually is. An array is a distinct type around the dynamic of a value, right? So otherwise, these other ones, these are just aliases. So you can straight up just put the bool inside of this and it will be fine. But they are here obviously for kind of clarity's sake, or being more descriptive, if nothing else, right? And so, yeah, this is what a JSON object actually is under the hood, right? Which is why we can make these maps of string to value. So here, what we actually want is we want a type field which is string, and then we want description. I should have used another key there. I'm still not super comfortable with Kakoune, as you can tell. So we're gonna format a little bit here. Read offset is gonna be a JSON object as well. And of course we can kind of just fill in some blanks here. Here I want this, and I want to just delete that for the time being. And then we want to 11J Opa. That was a mistake. Now we can copy like this. And read limit object. So now, if we put these things in our properties, read path rather, sorry, read path, offset, I think it should be like this. We'll double check, it's fine. I mean, if it goes wrong, we'll double check. Otherwise we're not gonna do shit. So now read limit here. Let's compile that. So what are we sending here? We are not sending the properties. We're not sending the properties. Why would that be? Explain to me. Ah. Well, no, it's read is down here. Oh, I just learned something. Ah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. What happens when I... Right, so one thing I didn't really get when I was using Kakoune, you know, I use star to set like, hey, you should search for this, but I use W a lot, and I think it sets it to a different. Okay, I don't know what I pressed star on because it's working now. Is it this one? Yeah, look at this, right? Here I accidentally get the space. I get the space here because I use W to move around. But I should use E, so I only get read. I don't get the... That's why. Wow. So much to unlearn, so much to unlearn. The LLM came up with something super interesting. Let's see here. So we are not sending the tool stuff. We are not sending the tools, presumably, because make tool is not... I am not attaching the parameters. Function has a name and a description. And it should be... Let's do this first of all. And then say function parameters. Unrecognized schema object type. Okay, I'm doing something wrong here with the objects. So we have in the tools we have type. Hang on, I have the wrong order for this, maybe. The function is... Yeah? Yeah, I have the... Okay, what did we actually send? We sent type function and then the function field, which is what we want. Yeah, I think the main difference here is here they have type function, right? Let's pick the read one just to be on the same page. Right, everything pretty much is in the parameters actually. This as well. Name as well, right? So if we look at our tools, their description is out there. Parameters, properties. Let's try this. Key name not found. Okay, I guess I misunderstood what I was looking at. Let's just make sure now that we are constructing this as we should. So, top level, type function. It's just exactly right. And then this function equals function, sure. And inside a function, we do expect the name. Oh, we do it. We want the description there as well. And then inside of parameters, function parameters, we have a type object, which is fine. A JSON array called required, and we have properties. And properties here for us is a JSON object that we pass in. But I did not see that be used. Didn't see that be used because parameters. So we have type function. Let's start eliminating stuff here, right? So type function, sure. And then we have the function entry, which has a name, which is read. And that's in function. Yeah. We have a description. Function also has a strict false at the bottom there. Parameters has type object here. Those make sense. And we have required path, which is just a string inside of an array, that's fine. And then we have the properties. Which does in fact not have a type object part to it. So this is the downside of doing what is effectively dynamic programming, dynamic type system, because I'm sending just JSON. I'm sending maps. These maps can contain whatever, right? You can see here, I actually started with types. I should have continued with types. Learn from that mistake. I should have just continued with types, and then, you know, when you have a parameter somewhere, a property if you will, that shouldn't be there, the type system will tell you instead. So yeah, such is life, such is life. Let's just verify here that we're getting something that makes sense as well. So role is assistant here, finish reason tool calls. So the LLM is saying, I'm finished because I need you to call tools. So when you get one of these messages, what you're gonna have to do is just say, okay, I'm gonna go through the tool calls and execute them. And so you can do this just one by one. If it says to you like, hey, I need to call 3 different things, you can see here that tool calls it's an array, right? So here it's telling us I want to execute a function. I want to execute read on readme.md. Right? And so what we would respond with in this type of situation is a message that says, hey, I have executed this for you. So we will now, what we would do if we were actually continuing here, is we would look at our message. So if we, so messages here, right? This is a growing array of values. What we would do is we would run the tool call and give the result to the agent. So read itself is not a particularly interesting actual tool. I have it here only as a kind of an example, if you will. What we might do, and what would be more interesting, is to only provide, and that's what we're going to do, only provide Kakoune tools. Right? So that means execute keys. Send keys to Kakoune. Right? So let's say we went to our system prompt and we said, I'm actually gonna change this to be a raw string, and we will replace here. Okay, let's do Kakoune stuff instead of fucking around with being all manual. So here we're gonna say, we're gonna select these. Yeah, right? Change, new line. Also, here we actually want to pull these in. And if you want to read a file, you must first open it. Yeah, so here we need a few things. So this is gonna be evaluate commands path, evaluate commands. Edit file name. And then here we would read buffer This will be a tool call, read buffer. I think. Actually, read current buffer. That's the tool. I can escape it like this, right? To be honest, I don't even remember. No. Let's just use single quotes for this. The interesting thing here is that it doesn't matter what we actually do here, as long as an LLM can understand it, you know? How do you take an array as... I suppose you can just sort of do that. At this point we can sort of opa. Ah. So one thing that you don't really need is you don't need execute keys. Because execute keys you can do with evaluate commands. So what we could do here now is we could call this read current buffer, right? Let's see here. I don't know how to skip. Motherfucker. Well, I don't know how to actually skip selections. And I'm a moron, so read current buffer. This does have to have nothing actually. Right? Because... Opa. And it really doesn't need... I mean, to be honest, you actually don't need read current buffer either. Right? Because it's covered in execute keys. Yeah, you don't need read current buffer. Because execute keys, so if we were to, we're here, right? Let's say we're sending commands. And we're doing execute keys. If we want to read the current buffer, we should realistically be able to say this %, right? So we are here now, so we execute keys %, this, and then let's say that there was a tool to get the current selection. That would probably be a thing. Right, so get current selection is a thing. Right, because you can, we will have to get, so here for example, now I'm marking execute keys, right? Echo val selection, like this. That is something we would have to connect to, right? We would have to get that value out to the agent effectively. Not via echo, mind you. We would have to send the result of selection to the agent process. So the agent is running in a process that would have to execute, basically select something and then execute a command that sends this back to us. I haven't 100% figured that out yet. So this should be evaluate command, right? Yeah, it should. So here we would probably just say, right, we can do this. Now, curiously, can we actually just say commands here is equal to type? How do they even specify? OpenAI completions tool schema type array string structured model. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what the fuck they call this. No. Okay, I can't search on this webpage. That's cool. Interesting. What am I even really looking at? Is this parameters dot object properties type string? This should all be function, sure. Parameters, JSON schema defining. Get whether type string, string. So could it be in here that we need to? JSON data types, sure. Array. Type array. Well, surely it's array of something. I suppose it's an array of whatever the fuck. Which, okay, fair. Fair. Type array. Description. An array of commands as strings. A string array of commands to execute. Something like that. So that's evaluate command. Now I guess technically, maybe somehow you could actually get the screen, like the contents. So we're not gonna have read current buffer, but right. Execute keys percent get current selection in the above sequence. Selects the entire file. This tool thing, I guess we don't really need it, right? To be honest. It really just depends. I'm sure that this one should be underscored, by the way. I'm sure that there are LLMs that would have a difficult time with this. I actually tried this out with Quen 3.6. Right, so I had this running locally. And it cannot debug Kakoune for shit, to be honest. While it was going, I don't know how long it went for, I found the bug myself and just fixed it. I actually tried the same thing with GPT 5.4 on extra high, and it couldn't figure it out either. So I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest, about sort of how this is going to go. But what I figure is this, right? I think that this can be a really interesting benchmark for agents, because they haven't been trained in any meaningful capacity on Kakoune. I struggle to see how they could be, because yeah, it's bad. Right? They're not very good at this. So I think I suspect that they're really going to struggle a lot, most of them, which means if you give them all of the docs and so on, right? You maybe even you could give them web access, but that's really not really a great idea. Yeah, web access is out of the question probably, right? We'll see. We'll see. It depends. Like, if it becomes clear, like none of them can actually do it. If I try it with, you know, GPT 5.5, Cursor, maybe even Opus, and so on. If I try it with that, then, you know, if none of them can do it, then you kind of have to give them a little bit of a push, I suppose, right? So that's evaluate command. We can repurpose get current selection, or this one rather. And here, interestingly, there's really nothing. Get the contents, text content of the currently selected at the current selection. I suppose let's try this out, right? Surely I'm missing something here. Yeah, I am. The documentation for Kakoune is at some place. Let's just say for the purposes of our... It doesn't really matter. Nothing is actually going to happen right now. So... Right. Okay, so this is, again, now we reach an interesting kind of... We're going to have to explain, right? Because you have to bootstrap the agent. That's what the system prompt is for, right? So we're at an interesting kind of cross, like, decision point here, where we do have to explain if you if you want to execute a bash, a shell command, you have to use and get the output in a new file. You should use evaluate commands FIFO, right? Because it's FIFO is the thing that we want here. FIFO name, some name, etc. Name, some name. In a new buffer, we should say new buffer actually. Some buffer name. We're gonna verify all of this, of course. Here it should really just be command. It's basically something like this. So FIFO name some name, right? And then dash dash. I think we should be able to just say it's either sh here, or hang on, we could just do this actually. LSA. Yeah. Okay, so it's just so here I think let's come up with some interesting scenario, right? Because we have our first user message here, and that was just like, oh, read the README or whatever. But let's not just do that, right? Yeah, I really would like to. I don't think I'm gonna figure out how to interface with Kakoune today, to be honest. But show me Kakoune's documentation for commands. Let's see what it does with this, right? What we would expect is it should ls the Kakoune's doc folder. That's what we would expect from most LLMs, for sure. Ah. I cannot see the thumbnail. What is this? What is the thumbnail? I have no idea what the thumbnail is. I mean, it could be whatever. Hopefully it's nothing bad. Actually, why can't I see the thumbnail? Where do I even see this? Stream suspended? Hang on. Is that real? That can't be real though, right? Stream unavailable. I mean, it's not unavailable, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm playing music, and some of the music is copyrighted. That's why. The user wants to see Kakoune's documentation for commands. According to the system prompt, the documentation is located at this thing. I should navigate there and find out the relevant command for relevant command documentation file. Let me first check what files are in that directory by using a shell command via the FIFO approach. So now it's trying to send evaluate command with the arguments commands so here it's obviously it's correct, but I am wondering a little bit about this tool call. Is that actually... Oh yeah, that is definitely right. Okay, fair enough. That is how it's called, right? So okay. No, I haven't done anything interesting to... I don't know, policy violation sounds fucking crazy, but because I don't, as far as I know, we haven't violated any policies, but unless I've said something real bad or whatever, but I don't think so. I say a lot of worse things when I'm not on stream. Mostly though, it's just swearing. But yeah, I don't know. Not an engagement bait technique. Not that. But yeah. So now we can see here obviously that it's thinking, quote unquote, correctly. It wants to... I really hate this, saying it and so on. The machine has figured out, I don't know. However I say this, it sounds wrong. Let's just all just be completely clear on... these are not thinking beings. They are just literally asking for the next token, and stuff that kind of seems to make sense comes out. Let's just say that. In any case, the reasoning content, quote unquote, is correct here. We would want to execute FIFO name doclist ls here in order to get the contents of that directory. Now, sadly, I'm not going to be able to actually link that up. So we're just going to have to think more about tools, right? What other tools do we need to provide? Because we have a tool here. We have evaluate command, right? And that's what it's trying to call here, because it's been told that that's how you do things. We have get current selection. It is incredibly dangerous to let it actually execute shell scripts or shell commands, right? This is gonna have to run in in like a virtual machine or something. I'm not running this shit on my computer. Like actually running it. So that's just not gonna happen. But we do... fuck me, I'm gonna have to end the stream soon. I might try to just be back later. I really wanna solve... I'm probably gonna have to go into real thinking mode and not stream whatever. To sort this sending the stuff out to the process. Because I suspect I'm missing some key ingredient there. So I think I'm actually gonna end the stream here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the music, you know, obviously there was some kind of song in there that really you weren't. Actually, now when they say policy violation, could it be that it, you know, like their systems have kind of detected that there's some kind of weird sounds? Because of course some of this music is a little bit odd, right, with the whispering and the stuff. It couldn't be that it thought that it was like, hey, this is bad content, you shouldn't... This guy is playing like some weird porn or something. Anyway, I'm speculating. I don't know what YouTube thinks. Anyway, I think I'm gonna be either I solve the problem of just sending commands to Kakoune. I also have to solve the problem of getting information out of Kakoune also. So I'm gonna have to set up a two-way kind of yeah. We're gonna have to have like an exfiltration socket and an infiltration socket, so to speak. One to get stuff in, one to get stuff out. Because the get stuff out one is gonna be used for get current selection, right? Because of course we have that value super easily here, right? Like I said, with we can even get it in a shell script like cac selection, I think it is here. This should be here. Something like that. Selection? Is it not? Well, in any case, val selection. Also, let's say you were to do this. Let's say you have these, right? You can do echo val selections. And so you have multiple selections. Now this one is a little bit suspect, right? Because you just get the actual content, right? And I think what you actually want is selections desk, as in description maybe? Yeah, these are precisions, I guess. Okay, we're gonna have to put together something that gives you the complete selection, like here's what's selected and where. So we're gonna use probably a few of these, you know, because I think, yeah. What is chart? What is that? I don't know what that is. There's so much interesting stuff in this editor. Display column desk. These are just the same things, no? Oh, it's where they are on the display. As in like the current view. Or something. I have no idea if that's going to be useful. Let's not overthink that. This stuff gets real. Selection length. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, how long have I been... Anyway, I'll summarize what I said. What I want is the tools should be what a human would do, effectively, right? So, get current selections, which it will become get current selections, is going to return the actual selection content and the position. My stream has been temporarily blocked again. Oh wow. So this song that's playing right now is apparently, if I played this, YouTube blocks the stream. I'm probably gonna have to rethink what music I'm playing, sadly. That kind of sucks, but honestly that sucks real bad actually. That's really annoying. So let's this album is really good. So anyway, fuck me. What was I even saying? The selections, right? We can see what the current selections are and roughly where they are. Obviously, machines cannot. They can't see. Well, I mean, sort of. They can see. But we don't have access to that stuff, so we're not going to bother with any of that. Though we could hook into tmux. So, is the stream back though? I'll know. At some point someone will respond. So we're gonna get the selection information. Send that back, like completely, with a bunch of information, obviously. What's something more I was thinking about? I think I've lost the train of thought here now a little bit. Anyway, so we're gonna essentially just provide things that a human can do trivially, right? And I mean real fucking trivially. We can see and read that it says get current selection, and so we're gonna provide that tool as like this is a natural